I joined in 2001. They didn't have an office in my area, so I ended up opening the office and grew it from 0 to 50. And the model back then was the agent is the brand. Agents should be maxing out how much they pay the company and the rest should be theirs. Somebody came to me and asked to buy my office where I wasn't really looking to sell. But again, my dad was in my ear. Keep your options open, be listening. Don't say no before you know what they're going to say.
Samia Morgan is a global real estate advisor, helping clients buy, sell, and invest in properties with confidence. She combines market expertise and personalized services for guiding clients to achieve their real estate goals.
I'm willing to sell. Back then it was becoming more of a job and I really want to build my business. And I said, okay, but I don't want just cash. I'm going to sell my office, going to buy my office rather. I would like ownership in your business as well, your other companies. And they said, okay, we could do that.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Ryan Van Ornum with Scaling Up Success Podcast. Today, I have Samia Morgan. Samia, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you, Ryan?
I'm fantastic. It's wonderful having you on. I love talking to you. We've known each other for a few years now, and I'm just excited to let everybody else know about where you came from and where you're going with everything that you got going on.
Well, thank you. Likewise, really enjoyed getting to know you over the last couple of years. And you're an incredible human and you are in so many things. You manage your time so well, and it's very impressive.
Well, thank you, ma'am. So now let's dive
Love
right
the
in
man
here.
part.
Well, I always got to be, the military side of me always said be professional no matter what. So tell me, I know you've been in luxury real estate for a while now, but you've had many different other ventures with you and your husband. Tell me what you got going on.
With me and my husband, well, we have 3 kids. No, that's not where you wanted to go. Well, we've both been in different businesses. I started out in science industry. I was in oil industry, then in tech after I got married and moved to the Bay Area where, tech is what you do. So we both were in tech. I worked at Apple Computer back in 1983 before the Mac was born and worked at other software companies and then realized I need a better life. I need to get more control of my stress. So I decided to get in real estate. Yeah, that's exactly what my doctor said. He said, "You're doing what now?" I said, "Yeah, it's you control your time, you're the boss, and he goes, "You just wait." So that was how I got into real estate. Actually, I started by investing in the 70s with my parents. So while I was
Okay.
in college, my dad said, "Hey, I'm borrowing $5,000 from the credit union to buy a property. Do you want to borrow money from me and we can go in together?" I said, "Sure." So my parents immigrated, just a point of reference, in 1969 and from
From from
Egypt,
Egypt?
and we have there's 3 of us girls, so there was not much of a future for women back then. And Christianity wasn't really welcomed. And so it was to come to a country where you can speak your mind and opportunities are there for your taking. And my father, I really very blessed to have parents with vision who gave up everything they had to come to the US, taught us a lot. My dad was an engineer. It was a recession. There were no jobs for him. So he worked in a furniture company. He just did everything he could. My mom never cooked in her life, never worked in her life, but went and got a job. I was in charge of the budget because I couldn't take a job at 13. So I learned early on about how to manage your money and, work with a budget. So that was good training.
Well, I know you have worked your way up and it has been incredible to see the rise. You're doing amazing stuff in the real estate side of stuff over the last years. And I'm just always been impressed and inspired by what you do. So how what were like those challenges building up that real estate business over the years?
Well, I joined my first company in 1987. And as I don't think I mentioned, but I had a undergraduate degree in chemistry. So I have very analytical mind. And then I got my master's in business. So I love numbers. I didn't want to get involved with the residential side because I thought that was too emotional. And so I worked on the investment side for a while, and then the tax laws changed, and I found out that people were still thinking that there's a pride of ownership factor in selling their businesses and investment properties, and that didn't work out so well. So I actually tried residential and loved it. I worked for a small boutique office, and then I joined a corporate office. And when I gave them my business plan, they said, "What's that?" And I said, "Well, it's my business plan." They said, "Just tell me how many houses you want to hold open and how many calls you're going to make. That's all you need. One sheet." I'm like, "Oh." I had conferences I wanted to attend. I had different goals, and so I kept those to myself. I had a business coach, and back then that you didn't do those things.
A lot of people still don't in real estate.
Yes. We had the books. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have, I had email actually back then, but not many people did. And so it was interesting to see. Back then we called them the old timers. Now we call each other the veterans. We don't consider ourselves the old timers because we're still active and interested in growing our business. Back then, things were different. Okay, you got into real estate because you wanted the second income, you socialized, you had a click, all that. I was more focused on a business, and I went from the independent company didn't allow me to have my picture on my business card, and I thought, well, if I go to a conference, how are they going to remember me? And so I got little photo labels to put on my business card. People would remember me. And then I joined Remax because they believed in the agent as the brand and they allowed you to have, your pictures and all that. And then I came across Keller Williams. I really wasn't keen on going and changing, but I did the don't talk to me kind of mode, and but I went to a conference because I always believed in keeping an open mind, something my dad taught me early on. And I was in a room where this guy in a black shirt was talking about, your net income and mind your expenses. And I'm like, whoa, what is this? Who is this guy? So I asked a friend of mine, who's this guy in a black shirt? And he said, oh, that's Gary Keller. And I said, oh, he's teaching realtors about your bottom line. How revolutionary. So I joined Keller Williams in 2001. They didn't have an office in my area, so I ended up opening the office and grew it from 0 to 50, and we profit shared at 23, which was pretty unheard of. And we had one of the largest caps in the business. And the model back then was, the agent is the brand, therefore the agent should be maxing out how much they pay the company and the rest should be theirs. And I thought, wow, that's very progressive. Makes sense to me. And the education was awesome. And then somebody came to me and asked to buy my office where I wasn't really looking to sell. But again, my dad was in my ear. Keep your options open, be listening. Don't say no before you know what they're going to say. So did you want all that?
You're doing great. Keep on going.
All right. So I listened and I said, okay, I'm willing to sell because back then it was becoming more of a job and I really want to continue to build my business. I had a team of 5 agents and I said, okay, but I don't want just cash. If you're going to sell my office, if you're going to buy my office, rather, I would like ownership in your business as well, your other companies. And they said, okay, we could do that. So I did that. I stayed with Keller Williams for a while because I didn't want anybody to think I was no longer a believer in the model because I was. And I really was up until a few years ago when somebody by the name of Don Hobbs, whom I respect dearly because he and I worked together. He had his PR and marketing agency and they did a lot of work for me for branding and marketing. And he said, come to this conference. And I said, Don, I have 10 years left in me. What do you want me to do? I'm happy where I am. I'm my own broker. I get along with the broker really well because it's me. She's a tough cookie, but I like her. And he said, just come. And I'm like, okay, my dad was in my ear again. And I said, okay, I'll come. I met some exceptional people. at the EXP conference, and I took my husband with me because I said, this is something that we would be doing together.
Hmm.
And so we met Glenn Sanford, we met Pete Milton. I mean, all these people who were just so happy to meet you and tell you, let me know if you need anything, and you follow up with them, and they actually remembered you and were serious about helping you. So it was a very different culture, and it just made me smile inside because you don't see that in corporate America anymore. And it's all about the company and making money and not about the agent. And the model makes sense. Since COVID, we were all working independently and virtually, right? So why have brick and mortar? You
Yeah.
know,
Cuts down on your overhead a lot.
exactly. And I remember the rent that I was responsible for paying every month as an owner. And I had personal liability. I had a personal guarantee on that rent. And the salaries and managing the staff. My my biggest joy was training the agents because I wanted to make sure they do the job right. And I still have people who are at my office say, thank you for not letting us hire an assistant right away and telling us we have to do the transaction ourselves first. And I said, yeah, you have to know what goes in there. You're responsible. It's your license. And it's your license under me. So it's something that keeps you up at night. Uh,
Absolutely.
so the culture at EXP was and is something that I never thought I would see. The training that they continue to offer the agents, the opportunities to go and work with other people and collaborate. We have the global marketing agent group that I joined as soon as I joined EXP, actually, and it's a collaborative group across different companies that allows you to work overseas. And now I consider myself a global realtor advisor, a global realty advisor, a global realtor advisor, whatever you want to call it. But it's true because a lot of my clients are buying overseas and they're buying without me, not knowing that I can help them. So that's kind of the journey. My husband is now in the business. I gave him a mulligan. I said, you get to do one last startup and then you're coming with me. And so he is finishing the funding of his startup and soon will be full time, hopefully. And it's a journey. We travel to conferences together. We enjoy meeting people from all over the world and continue to learn. It's a never-ending job. Any job you take on, no matter what it is, there's always opportunities to do more, to learn, to collaborate. I put together a mastermind group last year when people were like, "Oh my God, the laws is changing. Oh, what are we going to do? We've never done this." Oh, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, guys, slow down. Let's take it a step at a time.
Right.
I've been using buyer representation agreements for 30 years. So let me help you with that. I mean, it's
Yeah.
something I learned through the Star Power program, and that's another collaborative group that I joined years ago. So education, training, keeping an open mind, and with technology, it's so much easier, right?
I was just going to say that. How has technology changed real estate since you started?
Oh, well, technology changed real estate very fast early on. I mean, the internet, people are like, oh, the computers or the companies, Microsoft is getting in our business. And they tried, actually. They came, they interviewed us and they had a panel and I was on the panel and they said, how do you do your business? And then they decided this is not a cookie cutter business. I don't think it's good for us. And they didn't do it. But I love technology because it allows me to have time to work with my clients. I'm currently sitting outside a listing that I've taken and helping my clients get their stuff out and get signage and all that. I have people for that, but it's still the human touch. You need to
Yeah.
have empathy for what they're going through with two boys still in school, one of them, and they're a military family. And my client goes, we're used to moving. We're a military family. We get this done. But you still need to stop in and say, hey, how's it going? How can I help? technology recently with AI, I see the same fear that people had with the internet coming into business,
Mm-hmm.
right? Oh, AI, they're going to have AI agents. I'm sorry. AI is going to help you as an
Yeah.
agent,
Yeah.
not going to take over your job. You know,
No, you should be
people
technology infused, not technology scared.
exactly. And I'm speaking on a time management panel with Star Power organization next month, and time management is my topic and on the panel. And we had a meeting yesterday and we were all going like, okay, how many of you using AI to manage your time? Well, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this. And that's what you should be doing is how to improve communication, how to because people are such an instant society, they want you to answer right away. And if you're not
Hmm.
there, AI can help, but you got to train it, right? You can't just say, oh yeah, I'll let ManyChat respond or Uzi respond. I mean, you have to train these tools to be like you.
Right, right.
And
It's got to
until
speak
you're
in your
comfortable,
tonality.
absolutely. I mean, I had a nice chat with ChatGPT and I said, this is who I am from the time that we immigrated to the time I got in real estate to the time now. Now you learn what I'm about and what I like and what my values are so that you can now write a bio for me, understanding where I come from.
Yeah, that's huge. What would you do? Like, sorry, let me rephrase this. Take two. Here we go. So, what advice would you give somebody that's just getting into the real estate business right now? Like with
Oh,
everything going on, is there a little nugget, a little piece of advice that you would give to somebody just starting out?
oh, absolutely. And I just met with somebody yesterday, as a matter of fact. So the best advice I can give them is learn. Spend the time to learn because getting your license is great. But there may be one or two things from your studies that you're going to use. I use it all the time. 43,560 is a square feet in an acre. Okay, good. That that actually is practical.
Yeah,
Riparian rights, well, it depends on where you live, right? Get in with a company that values training you. I mean, EXP, I had my husband go through their FastCap program. And people are doing business from the get-go because they're getting trained right away during the class to go out and perform the right activities to get business. But most importantly, don't do it alone.
yeah,
Get a get a mentor.
right.
You especially in California where I am, litigious society is at the top of the chair, the ladder here. I mean, people don't blink an eye before they think of suing you. So you want to start off on the right foot. You want to get the right training, have the right mentor, the right company, and enjoy what you do. If you're not passionate about real estate, go find something else.
Right. I love everything you said. And it is so special to hear you speak with such passion and vigor and being able to resonate with so many people in our audience. We certainly appreciate everything that you've spoke about today. And thank you so much for your time today. It's been wonderful hearing your journey and your progresses. You're a true like icon in what you do. And I'm just appreciative to be a friend of yours and best wishes and continued success in what you do.
Thank you, Ryan. Same to you. And then I'll continue to watch what you do because you're impressive and you're great.
Well, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. And once again, guys, Samia Morgan, you can find her out in the San Francisco Bay Area with the EXP, the luxury side of things as well. I'm Ryan Van Ornum with Scaling Up Success podcast, powered by Cynergist. If you are looking to scale your business at a fraction of the cost, talk to Cynergist, cynergist.com. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day.